Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're tackling a total game changer for your digital workflow, and that is cloud storage. We're going to look at how to streamline your uploads, confidently share your assets, and really lock down those access permissions to keep your data secure. Because whether you're managing professional portfolios, coordinating a team project, or just making sure your critical records are actually backed up, mastering these workflows is absolutely essential for both your efficiency and your security.
To really grasp the immediate value of this, just picture this scenario for a second. You reach for your primary device, your phone, your laptop, and it's gone. Or it's damaged or completely unresponsive. Now, if your critical files, things like resumes, active projects, community records, if they lived exclusively on that local memory, you literally have a crisis on your hands. But if you've established a proper cloud backup, well, that localized disaster just becomes a minor inconvenience. You simply log in on another device, and boom, seamless recovery. That built-in redundancy is exactly what we're putting into practice today.
So here is our digital roadmap for the explainer. First, beyond the flash drive. Second, exploring cloud applications. Third, uploading and organizing files. Fourth, mastering access permissions. And finally, number 5, safe and responsible sharing.
Okay, Section 1, beyond the flash drive. Where do your files actually live? The fundamental shift we're making here is moving entirely away from hardware dependence. Localized physical storage, your USB thumb drives, SD cards, your phone's internal gallery, they all carry a massive single point of failure. If that specific piece of hardware is lost or corrupted, your data goes right along with it. Cloud storage completely shifts that burden over to secure, internet-connected servers. When you use services like Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, or iCloud, you're getting global access, crucial hardware redundancy, and a centralized hub for all your digital assets. Let's move right into Section 2, exploring cloud applications. This is the tech clash. Now, while the major players out there, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Dropbox, while they all share the core features of uploading and syncing, your choice really should be dictated by the ecosystem you already use. You've got to evaluate them based on your own workflow. Like, is your school or workplace deeply integrated into the Microsoft suite, or are you collaborating entirely inside a Google Workspace? You'll also want to keep an eye on platform-specific limitations, like native storage caps or how well their mobile app actually works, just to ensure the tool scales with what you need to do every day. Which brings us to Section 3, uploading and organizing files. Let's trace the journey of a file. Look, if you just start dumping files into the main directory of your cloud storage, you are going to quickly create a digital landfill. You have to maintain strict data hygiene right from the start. And that means establishing a logical folder structure first, uploading your files directly into their designated folders, and, this is crucial, enforcing a really clear naming convention before you even transfer the file. A file named Resume 2024 Final is highly searchable and obvious, right? But a file named Document 1 Copy, that's a total data management liability. Being precise at step 1 saves you so much time later. The good news is navigating these platforms is pretty streamlined once you recognize that they all use a very similar layout. Across the board, you're going to find a universal starting point with a big New or Upload button. The central dashboard is your main workspace where your files live. They all have robust search bars for rapid retrieval when you have tons of files, and of course the standard Share button, which is your gateway for collaboration. And that brings us perfectly to Section 4, mastering access permissions. Who actually holds the power? Access control is paramount, and it starts with what we call a zero-trust default. That's the viewer permission. Setting someone as a viewer restricts them strictly to read-only access. They can open the file, they can look at it, but they absolutely cannot alter a single comma. This should be your baseline standard when you're sending out polished deliverables, final proposals, or any documentation where the original integrity of your work has to remain completely uncompromised. Stepping up from that, the commenter level serves as a really great collaborative middle ground. This permission lets other people append notes and suggest revisions in the margins, but without ever directly changing your core file. It's honestly the absolute best setting for peer reviews or getting feedback from a mentor, because you get their critical input, but you retain total authority over whether to actually accept or reject those changes. Finally, we have editor access. This grants the ultimate authority over a document. Editors can alter, delete, and sometimes even reshare your content with other people. Because this level gives away so much power, it must be strictly reserved for highly trusted active collaborators. Think core project teammates who need to be working in the exact same document at the exact same time as you. Now, alongside those user roles, you've got to strictly manage your link settings. Leaving a link set to anyone with the link is a massive vulnerability, especially for personal or proprietary files. The second that URL is out there, anyone who gets their hands on it can access, duplicate, and distribute your data, and you have zero oversight. Again, relying on that zero trust mindset means you should default to restricted access. That guarantees that only the specifically authorized users logged into their exact email accounts can actually open the document.
All right, Section 5, safe and responsible sharing. This is digital citizenship in action.
Consider this your non-negotiable pre-flight checklist before you hit share. First, verify the exact recipient. Are you sending it to the right email? Second, double-check your link settings to ensure you haven't accidentally left it on a public URL. Third, review the file content to confirm it's exactly what you intend to send. Fourth, respect ownership. Make sure you actually have the right to distribute those assets. And lastly, make absolutely sure you aren't accidentally exposing private, sensitive documents across public channels. Ultimately, mastering cloud storage isn't just about knowing the buttons to click. It's a dedicated mindset shift. As the quote goes, I must share files responsibly by checking the file, recipient, privacy, and link before sharing. Taking that extra 5 seconds to run through that mental checklist protects not just the integrity of your hard work, but your entire digital identity. So, we've covered the structural blueprint for securing and optimizing your files in the cloud. As you head back to your own workspace, I want to leave you with this question to think about. How will you practice respect for privacy and data ownership the very next time you hit share? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and stay secure out there.